Welcome to Club Toasted's Toastedopedia section called The Way to Accredited Speaker. We're here to get a better understanding of what the Toastmaster Accredited Speaker designation is all about. What's involved in attaining this accreditation? Today, we're going to talk to Paul Artali. I hope that's the way I pronounce your name, Paul?
Perfectly.
Perfect. And he holds a DTM. That is a Distinguished Toastmasters designation. We'll talk a bit about that. And he obviously received his accredited speaker I think it was back in 2019. So we're going to hear a bit about Paul, and he is coming all the way from Schwartz Creek, Michigan. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Marcus, what's up? Good to be here.
Not too much. So thank you for dropping by. I guess we can start off by explaining what is a Toastmasters accredited speaker designation.
Yeah, I think so. The accredited speaker designation is a professional designation that is given out through Toastmasters International that rewards Toastmasters who speak professionally outside of Toastmasters. So in other words, it's a designation for professional speakers who happen to be Toastmasters or Toastmasters who are emerging or trying to become accredited speakers. It can also reward you, but the end goal of the system is that you are a paid professional speaker at the time of application. It's just some people do it sort of on the back end. They're already professional speakers, so they go for the accredited designation because why not? And others are trying to attain that. And I think the accredited speaker program is a fantastic way to really focus your efforts and move you forward in that journey.
Splendid. Now, each of these speakers has something specific that they talk about. They have a specific subject matter expert. Specific subject matter expertise. What's yours?
Mine kind of comes in three domains. My bread and butter. So I start off and always will be a motivational speaker. So I talk about how I overcame being born with a limb difference. So for those who are watching the video on this, I was born missing fingers and with shortened forearms. So like this is like my left hand, this is my right, Ninja Turtle, Lego man hand, as my son says. And my story is that I was cut in high school playing football, and 6 years later I walked on, played defensive end at the University of Toronto. And so I start off as a motivational speaker. That's my bread and butter. I'm perfect for starting off conferences, starting and closing conferences. That's what I do. And that's my niche in terms of helping association conferences out. And I also have two other areas of expertise based on my PhD and the research I did to attain that and still do. I do a lot of work on work-life balance and how that impacts employee performance, company retention, and really I focus on how we set boundaries, personal and professional. And then my third area of expertise is disability in the workplace. So I just talk about how the competitive advantages of hiring employees with disabilities in the workplace.
Splendid. Maybe you can give us an idea of what are the requirements to be an accredited speaker.
Sure. So the accredited speaker has a two-step process, and there's two levels, right? So level one, well, first off, your requirements, you got to be a Toastmaster in good standing, have advanced communicator bronze or one full pathway sort of complete before you can be eligible, I guess, to start applying. But the other part that actually is more accredited speaker focused, sort of the big piece that we get questions on the most, is you need to have 25 speaking engagements outside of Toastmasters to a minimum of 20 people in the audience, and at least 15 of those 25 engagements have to be paid within a 3-year time span. In addition, there's some essay questions and different application questions that come with it. And you need to provide a video sample of yourself speaking that's anywhere between 20 and 60 minutes in length. So once you submit all of those pieces together, a judging panel reviews it. And if they like what they see, you go on to level two. Level two is a little bit more straightforward. You get invited to present at the international convention. You're given approximately 20 minutes. In my year, it was 18. It tends to vary year to year based on the number of participants, but you're going to give a 20-minute presentation on really anything you want. And my advice is always to present on whatever it is that got you there, right? If you're a professional speaker, give us an 18-minute sample of what you do best and what you get paid to do. And if you do when you do that at the convention, if the judges there like you, it's pass, fail, pass, you're an accredited speaker, fail, you still get 2 more attempts at it, right? So you get 3 attempts to do this. So you can think about like the accredited speaker could, for a lot of people, could be a 6-year journey, right? You have 3 years to get your 25 engagements outside of Toastmasters. And then, you can go strike 1, 2, or 3 in terms of the second level. You have 3 attempts to do that. And those don't have to be consecutive either. If you need to take a year off because you can't make the convention in a given year, it doesn't work against you. So it's a great process, and you kind of go at your own pace.
Nice, beautiful. Looking back, any hurdles that you had to overcome to be selected as an accredited speaker?
Yeah, I think for me it wasn't the engagements outside of Toastmasters, right? I mean, I kind of took 2 attempts at the accredited speaker. Version 1.0 was in my first year as Toastmasters, where the requirements are completely different. At the time, it was mainly 25 engagements outside of Toastmasters and an audio recording. And I had 45 engagements in my first year speaking outside of Toastmasters. Not all of them paid, but I was a guy, young, hungry, trying to just get my name out there. And I was speaking at all sorts of small associations and community groups. And so the 25 was there. Wasn't hard at all. But the audio recording messed me up because I didn't know what a professional audio recording was. And I didn't have confidence. More importantly, did not have confidence in myself to submit it. And so I backlogged it and didn't apply for many years. And then they changed the requirements to reflect essentially what we have today. And so for me, the challenge, it wasn't getting the 25, it wasn't the 15 of 25 being paid. It was, for me, the quality of my application was my biggest challenge. I didn't want, a bunch of low paying gigs on there. And I wanted my sort of, if I had to have unpaid engagements on my application, I wanted them to be high quality, right? So in my application, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to go look at it, but I know there were a couple of associations. I speak to a lot to human resource associations. So I know there was some large chapters that didn't pay me, but they were my market, right? They were my people. And so that's what I wanted. I wanted to put more of those on my application than, say, the Lions Club or some local group. Nothing wrong with those groups, but for me, the accredited speaker was challenging me to get to the next level, because at the time I was working at a university. I wasn't happy in my job. I really wanted to speak more and have more high quality engagements. And I wasn't there. I mean, I was finishing my PhD, I had a young family. And so for me, the hurdle was just upping my level, upping my game. And the application was the mechanism, because there is something very sobering and honest when you have to list 25 engagements on a piece of paper and all the statistics that come with them, the audience, the group, the pay. For me, that was really sobering and just motivated me to be better. And it did, and it ended up working.
Nice. Any recommended tips for aspiring accredited speakers out there?
Yeah, I have a couple. I think the first is, I think some Toastmasters see accredited speaker and they think it's an extension of like a DTM or like a typical education award. Like I hear that a fair bit. Oh, I'm going to do that like in 3 years. Next year I'll do my accredited speaker. And that's not what it is. And so my first tip is, like, if you're not serious about speaking being part of your life professionally in some form, you don't have to be a full-time speaker, but you need to treat it as a business. This is where I'm really honest. If you're not serious about speaking being a business, then I don't think the accredited speaker program is for you. I also think that you're not going to probably do well in it, right? Because to get paid engagements, you do have to treat it like it's work, right? People don't just pay you magically out of their pockets unless you're a celebrity. And so I think that's the first piece is treat it, know what it is, and understand why you're applying. I think number 2 is, especially this is more for those who, so if you're an aspiring speaker or you're just getting started like I was in the accredited speaker journey, is to really focus on, what do you do professionally? Like, who do you serve? Like the business questions, right? Thinking about what is your bread and butter, your main areas of focus, and really focusing on building those out into the application. I think number 1, because it makes, in my opinion, it makes your application look stronger. If I know that you're speaking about the future of robotics and that's your jam, put that in there. Like that's what I want to know. And I think building your client base and showing us that is really important. I think if you're already established, I think don't second guess the application and put what you do best. Because I think This is more for level 2, but I think some people get to the second level and they feel like they have to give a 20-minute version of an international speech contest speech. And that's not what this is. Like I always tell people, I mean, more than welcome to, go to YouTube, type in Paul Artale, accredited speaker. You'll see my level 2 speech, which is a mini version of the motivational keynote I give, but it's a mini version of what I get paid to do, right? I didn't construct that to win a contest or to get credit in a manual. I constructed that to be something that kicks off a conference for my clients. And so you can watch mine, but the one I always tell people to watch is Michael Bayer, who was the same year as me, because Michael talks about lean management for hospital systems, healthcare systems. And that is probably the most world championship of public speaking type speech you're going to see. But I love it as an example because it's exactly what Michael does. He does it really well. And he passed, he got his accredited speaker with us that year. And I think it gets people to think a little bit differently about what they can do. You don't have to be a rah motivation person like me, which is the irony of me giving this advice. You don't have to, you can totally be in your professional niche and be good. And we actually encourage that because we want that diversity of speakers. We want, we always talk about how Toastmasters is it's a benefit and it helps you in your professional career and it can help businesses. And so let's showcase that. So I think the final piece of advice is have fun with it. It is a designation and it is something that that can be nerve-wracking, right? Nobody getting judged, waiting for results, all that. It has its quirks, but just have fun with it and make the accredited speaker designation a byproduct of your efforts versus just something you're trying to get. Because once you get the award, then what, right? If your answer is, I got the award, I'm going to retire from speaking, probably not the best fit. I mean, if that's what you want, fine. But I think it's always like, think about, you got it. What's as a byproduct, not because this is the end destination. It's just part of the journey.
So have fun and talk about what is your jam. I wanted to talk a bit about DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. Maybe you can explain about that, but also combined with that, you won third place semifinalist in 2018 for the World Championship of Public Speaking, and you're a 2-time semifinalist at World Championship as well. Mm-hmm. So between the DTM, what is DTM, and how was that experience getting that public speaking championship, or at least competing in it?
Yeah. So the DTM, I mean, Distinguished Toastmasters, it's the culmination of various leadership and communications projects and speech projects and service. And so for me, the DTM, again, never set out to be a DTM. I used to joke, I don't care about it. Because it wasn't like my motivation. My motivation to be a Toastmaster is to become a better speaker. But it was a byproduct of all the effort I put into Toastmasters. And so, I mean, I finished back in the old system, with the manuals, the one that we're pretty much transitioned out of. I got my advanced communicator gold in like 14 months, right? I gave a lot. And I got, I think, to advanced leader silver relatively in the same time because, there was a lot of the projects you could do to earn that award were more along the lines of recruitment and leadership. And my PhD is in work life, but it's in organizational development. So I would kind of put my spin. So I was always using Toastmasters to better myself. And it really became a byproduct. And I think by the end of it, all I needed was a service to the district. And I was the administration chair for a year. I was taking the notes and the minutes, and I did that. And so that was really great. I would say, again, if you're looking to grow as an individual, use the curriculum. It's there. It works. If you're more into becoming a better speaker, projects in Pathways totally help you with that. If you're looking more, developing your leadership skills, because I know a lot of people in their day jobs don't necessarily always get a chance to exercise their leadership skills. Great place, fantastic place to hone those skills. So that's what the DTM was, and that's what it meant to me. But again, everything I do in my life is pretty much a byproduct. I don't set out to have the goals. It just sort of falls into place. What did I learn from the contest? I had 2 runs at the contest, and I believe they were 3-4 years apart, maybe, give or take. First time I went was the convention in Cincinnati. It was 2013. So yeah, it was 5 years apart. So 2013 to Cincinnati. Actually came in second in the district. The 2018 contest was the year one of my first big corporate clients hit. And I was like, well, I didn't get I didn't get the trophy I wanted, but I got the contract I wanted. And I knew that next year was at the convention, because the fun part about 2018 for me was I qualified for the semifinals and the accredited speaker in the same year. and I had to make a choice. And because again, the accredited speaker, you can defer. I decided, I'd take the semifinal while you got it if you had to choose. So I was like, all right, I didn't win the contest, but next year I'll be back at the convention in front of a bigger crowd, giving 20 minutes of what I love to do. And I think at the end of it, for me, the last thing I'll say is, for me, I learned through the contest that I would rather, and nothing against those who compete every year, more power to you, but I'd rather have 20, 30, 40 minutes to work with, that's what I love to do. And that's why I love the accredited speaker program, because it allows people to really step into who they are as speakers and into their expertise and own that content and have that swagger. And the system is set up so that you can succeed, right? There's no cap on how many accredited speakers that can be in any given year or at all, right? I think my year, everyone got it, and some year it's pass fail. So that's what I came out of it. Like, this accredited speaker thing is awesome. It's for me, and I'm definitely happy to help people give advice or help them on their journey to it.
Splendid. Couldn't have said better. Rock it. Do something you're passionate about. Give it all you got. It's all about content, and just do your best. That's fantastic.
That's all you gotta do.
Great. Now, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, they can find you on LinkedIn. Okay.
Find me on LinkedIn for the one-on-one connections. Best ways to get a hold of me. Otherwise, you can go to paulartelli.com. Just change my name in here in the
there you go.
thing. Go to my website. If you want to know more about me and what I do, even just links to me, clips of me speaking, which you can also find on YouTube. Go check me out. Would love to stay in touch with people, connect with people, help them out on their journey. I'm more than happy to do all three of those things.
Great. All right, paulartelli.com. Thank you, Paul, for joining us. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I love your storytelling. It obviously shows that you're not just a good public speaker, but it's something you're passionate about.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It's best job in the world for me. Best job in the world. It's great.
Fantastic. All right, thanks, and have yourself a great day.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.